Hey, Rizwan. Thanks for coming here. This is the first podcast that I do in English, like live, in this kind of format. And like just for the guys that don't know, like this podcast was thought just for helping others, just to inspiring them, like from your own story, your own background, what are you are currently doing, what have been your major problems or obstacles, or like maybe even people like they were not trying to help you, or maybe some other guys, like I don't know, mentors or models. Like is this like what is going on with your life? Like, come on.
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give this platform to speak about myself.
And just relax, just enjoy.
Let me just give a basic introduction about myself,
please.
Who I am, how I got to know my friend Dario, and how we are having this podcast. Yeah. So my name is Rizwan Ahmed, and
Where do you come from?
I'm from Pakistan, and I'm by profession a civil engineer. I worked 2 years in the construction industry, and then I decided that I need to study more. Cool. And the thing is, like, once you are in an industry and you feel that you're not growing up anymore, then you finally have to take this decision that you have to do something that's gonna help you grow up, like not just professionally, but as your character. So I had to take this opportunity to explore more, to meet new people, see new cultures, and the best way for a guy like me who's in his early 20s is to get a higher education from someplace else, from let's say the States or let's say Europe.
One question, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, sure.
Why Germany? I have asked this question. I mean, it's kind of like the circumstances were right now. Yeah. But it's because we are here. We met each other here in Germany. That's why I asked why Germany. Like.
Okay, so I'll give you my case because I don't want to give this opinion that since I'm here in Germany, I took the best decisions of my life. Yeah. But I'm gonna explain why I came to Germany, and so that everybody who's just watching this show have this clear sense that why he decided to come to Germany and not to, let's say, the States or any place else. So initially, I wanted to go to the States for my master's, and for someone who needs to, let's say, who's from Asia or from like other parts of the world, not from the States, they have to take this exam called GRE. It's called Graduate Record Examination, along with either TOEFL or IELTS to get admission in a university.
To at least apply.
Yeah. So since I wanted to go to the States, I took those exams while I was working as a project engineer. But when I got to know about the fee structure of the programs that I was interested in, it kind of put me on a back pedal, and I kind of had to rethink my decisions. And to be honest, it kind of made me demoralized as well. So I was like, I don't know if I should.
Expensive.
Yeah, in short, they were expensive, but that doesn't mean that I didn't have other options. When I took the GRE and the IELTS exams, I kind of missed the deadlines of the 2 or 3 universities that I was interested in. Basically, there were Texas A&M and University of Texas at Austin, and there was Iowa State University. So I didn't want to wait another year. So I had few friends who were studying in Germany. And they were like, yo, you had like pretty good grades. Why don't you just come here? And at first I was like, free education. I don't know if it's going to be that good. There's a language barrier. I don't want to. But then I researched the universities and I was quite shocked. Actually, I should say I was quite surprised because the universities and the courses, they were like really nice. And so I decided, hey, maybe there is
a reason why Germans are good, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have to experience it firsthand to realize that, wow, these people are really serious when it comes to their work. So, I just applied to 4 universities. There was one at Hamburg. There was one at Bochum, if I'm pronouncing it. Yeah. There was one in Stuttgart, and the last one was in Munich. München. München, yeah. So luckily I got accepted in all 4, and I was like, hey, I don't have to waste another year, or let's say I don't have to make all the, let's say, arrange all the money from the States. So I just took the decision, said, hey, let's just go to Munich because the university that I got admission is ranked really well, like all across the world, and I was really excited on exploring the European culture as well. Because
way different, right?
yeah, because the thing is, my brother already lives in the States, so I got the hint how the culture is, and my family is also like visits US all the time. So I was just excited to know something which I had no clue about. So when I came here,
that's quite a challenge. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
fuck my old life. Let's start a new one. I don't know what is gonna happen. I don't know where it's gonna end.
So that was basically my reason of coming to Germany, and I was just excited. And
okay, I'm gonna stop you right now. Let's go a step back. I want to know. That's why I want to know.
Yeah,
I think I already asked you this before, way before. I don't know, last year. I don't know, but I just want to have a quick reminder, and just so the guys know, how is to live in Pakistan? Because to be totally honest, when I heard, like, being from Mexico, like just by hearing Pakistan, I actually don't have any fucking clue about the country. So that may be the same case for you from Mexico. So it's like if we are just far from each other and we don't know, maybe, I'm supposing that. But for my own perspective, it's like, okay, I know that you're close to India and close to China, and maybe you share something in between, but I don't know even Indians, like, you know, like a couple of them maybe from work, but I don't have any clue. So my question is, like, can you tell us a little bit more from growing up in Pakistan? How is the environment? How is being there? Like,
Okay.
what do you think, like in economic wise and maybe in society, all this stuff?
All right, so I'm gonna start off with the culture, like how the culture is all about. So basically, our culture is really, I should say, open. It's we are really excited whenever someone from, let's say, the Europe or any place other than, let's say, from Pakistan visits us for tourism or anything. The people are really open, they're really friendly, and they're just excited. I mean, you can find videos on YouTube of like these what do you call it, vloggers that make videos about food, and they just go to street vendors and they just
street food.
They just want to try street food, and there are multiple videos about in which, like, the street vendors, they just decline their money. They're like, you come to visit us and it's free for you. So the people, like, they're really friendly, they're really open. And about the society, so it's more of a male driven society. Like normally it's not like here, like the people are used to that you have, like, let's say, equality. I mean, there is equality, but normally, like, there's a head of the family, and in most cases it's the male, like he has to provide for the family, and normally the females, they take care of their children, like their upbringing, how they should behave and everything, tell them what is right, what is wrong, take care of them. Like, they're open to work as well. Don't take my words in the wrong way.
Political correctness, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, right now in this program is not gonna be like an issue. Just say what you have to say.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's a developing country. It's progressing quite rapidly. Like, the e-commerce scene is really rapidly growing. Of course, there are, like, bad people and good people, but the progressing part is, like, really moving forward. And there are, like, many opportunities now. But still, I would say it's a developing country, and it needs, like, few good leaders. Like, we have one right now.
Politicians.
Our politician, Imran Khan. Like, he won us the Cricket World Cup in 1992, and he opened the cancer hospital, and it just gives free, what do you call it? Free healthcare for everyone. And so it was like a philanthropist move by him, and now he is acting as our prime minister, and he's doing a lot.
Sorry to go interrupt again. You have also this system like in UK. Like
the free healthcare?
No. I mean the politician stuff. Like, do you have president or a prime minister? Is like the
the prime minister is basically is the most higher one.
Yeah,
it depends. It depends, to be honest. Like, who's in power, but normally it's like the prime minister. So, anyways, the culture is really supportive. It's friendly. It's not like normally what you hear in the news. Like, hey, if I, let's say, use the word Pakistan, you think about someone with a big beard, someone who is really conservative, someone who is like really follow like, you know, certain religious values and blah blah. There are
maybe, yeah, right? Like I think you can find people like that
of
everywhere.
course, I'm coming to this point. Like there are cases of extremism. There are good and there are bad people everywhere, and it's up to the media how it portrays.
Yes.
For example,
Totally.
For example, let's say if I talk about XYZ country, and the international media only portrays the bad side of that country, what's gonna happen? The rest of the whole world is gonna think, hey, they're like this.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, but here I am, a master's international student studying in Germany, doing his master's, belonging from an educated family, is giving a podcast interview. So what does it say?
Have you heard about these bad homers?
Bad
homers?
Bad
This is
hombres?
Donald Trump, yeah. He said
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, it's Mexicans. These guys bad hombres.
Yeah.
Conquering the world.
How's the
These
wall
motherfuckers.
progressing though?
Huh? What?
Any updates on the wall?
I think it's still the same. I think Congress has not passed whatever permission funds, whatever. I think they didn't want to do. I think it's not because they don't think it's gonna be palatable. I think they are just gonna against Trump, but that's another.
That was a public stunt, you know.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. So. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So, do you have any other questions related to the
No.
culture?
Just like, how was your upbringing? Like, how was your education at home? Like, because in that case, okay, now you're explaining about the society and about how it's people and how, for example, what you were saying at the end, like Pakistan. For me, like coming from Mexico and not knowing because I haven't been there so far. I just had the chance to meet people like you to know more of the country. So, I think the idea of hearing these countries with the ending with "an," that's like the idea that you said, like the media just created, the international media. So it's like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan. Like you don't know what is there, right? So it's like, what is Middle East? What is it? No. Yeah. So that's why. But how was it for you in that home? Like
All right. So I belong to a family of 6. I'm the youngest among 4. All of my brothers and sisters, either they're doctors, they're like in the business industry, or they're like engineers. And so luckily, I was the youngest one, because normally in Asian, I should use the word desi. Like desi basically defines people having brown color, belonging from a brown family. The elder son basically, It's it's a new word.
Yeah, for me it's new. For me it was like brown. You're brown.
It's kind of like the same thing. If I use the term desi family, it automatically means like a family belonging to. Or it's not racist. It's like a funnier.
Yeah, racism is another thing. But No. But I mean, there's the term. I think I heard it. Okay, continue.
So, anyways, So in a desi family, or I should say in a brown family, normally the eldest son takes the responsibility in most of the cases to take over the upbringing of his siblings, or so when the father is or when the dad is getting old, he has to take the responsibility of supporting his sisters or his brothers or his younger siblings or whatever. So I belong from a really typical family. All of my brothers and sisters, they were really good in studies. And so I had the opportunity, I had the liberty to do what I wanted to do. But still, it's not like here in Europe. For example, if I have to compare a child growing up in Europe and if I have to compare a child growing up in Pakistan, and I'm talking about the majority, I'm not going to specify. General. So the European child has a lot of options as to what he can do with his life. For example, up until high school, after high school, he decides that he wants to be a rock climber. He wants to be hiking specialist. He wants to be someone who gives skiing classes. He wants to, whatever, XYZ. So he can do it and he can make a living out of it.
Yes.
Like he can financially support himself.
That's true.
And his family.
I agree.
But unfortunately, that's not the same in Pakistan. And it's not a bad thing because it's still a developing country. Like we have more opportunities now. But to generalize it, a normal kid who is growing up and he wants to move on with his life, he has to face these three options, which are generally are either he could become an engineer, he could become a doctor, or he could become a lawyer. Like these are like the three most commonly known major noble professions that you could take.
But the best paid, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
The
Because
politicians.
Not everyone can go into politics, or not everyone has the mind, but you're right, like politics as well.
I think that's a major way of doing things in developing countries. So
yeah, you're right, but I don't want to go towards politics.
No, don't worry. No, I'm not talking about Pakistan.
In general,
I was thinking about Mexico. So.
Yeah, but in general, it's not. We also have like these cases, but normal. I'm just talking about a general child.
Yes.
Like, so for me, I had to go with engineering. That's why I chose civil engineering, even though I didn't like it, but I had to go it just to move on with my life.
You chose it?
I chose
this
it
career,
myself.
or somebody.
I mean, I just asked my brother, everybody has a role model in his life, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
For example, for you, it could be Tony Robbins or whatever, any motivational speaker. For me, it was my elder brother, and he was that kid who was good with everything. He was like really good with sports. He was really good with his studies.
With girls.
Good girls, like just you name it. So I didn't have to look elsewhere. I just had to look at it, and I was like, yo, that's what I want to be. So he took engineering. So that's why I also wanted to do engineering. I mean, it may sound stupid now, but back when you are, let's say, just...
No, it's totally normal.
Yeah, back when you're 15 years old, back when there's no one to give you a proper career counseling session, back when there's no one to actually help you, hey, what you want with your life. So you have to let go a lot of passions and just do what you think is accepted in the society. And for my case, that was engineering. So I took civil engineering. I got really good grades. That's why I'm sitting here in front of you. And but I didn't like it. And I will be really honest, I kind of started to dislike it after my second semester, because it wasn't something that I wanted to do with my life. But I still had this intention of learning. So I just like to learn.
I think one of the things that school system in general, not only, I mean, I think internationally, like school system does not. I mean, the school system does not teach you so many things, but one of those is just to experience how is to work as a certain profession. For example, being an engineer is really technical. Most of the times.
Yes.
Or certain times. I'm just generalizing. Because you can be an engineer and work in whatever management, or it could be, you can change your career later. But what I mean with that is being an engineer, like a civil engineer, is like being in a technical spot. Being, I would say like a accountant is a really technical job. Being a doctor is also technical. So you're not I think school system is most of it focus on developing technicals or technicians, and once you enter in the business environment, some people want to develop the business skills or the commercial part, and most of the people, they just want to get a cut, get a salary. So just to mention it, you remind me when you were saying that.
No, I completely agree to what you are saying, and I completely am a big advocate of what you are implying. So I think that there should be subjects that focuses on soft skills. Like you don't need, let's say there's a kid who's really good at leading students. You have sports class, and you see there's a certain kid and he's really good at, telling his friends that he should be doing this position, he should be doing this certain position, let's say in football, and then that's how you're gonna excel. He sees the potential of the other students, even though he's in the same age. But unfortunately, you're right. You don't have such schools, and you don't have such mentors who who takes these students and just brush them, just polish their skills.
What do you think? How important are having mentors in life, like role models? Like I would say not having them because we all have them somehow, but as healthy role models, I would say.
I personally think
inspiring role models.
Yeah. My opinion on this is that, when you're growing up, like let's say from your 6th grade to high school, you don't know what you want with your life. You just do. I mean, even after that, but
even
normally,
now,
And I personally think that the teachers, they're really occupied with their professions. For example, you are a physics teacher, so you will be more interested in teaching physics rather than knowing that, hey, this XYZ student, he looks like he can become a wrestler or he can become someone else. But you would be interested in knowing that, hey, if this XYZ kid scores 90 plus in his exam, because that's going to give you a sense of accomplishment that you have transferred your knowledge to that particular kid, and it's gonna make you feel better.
Or fuck them up.
Yeah,
it depends.
It depends.
I think everybody has different goals.
My opinion. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's gonna be possible or not, but I think like there are all other subjects like English, maths, physics, chemistry. I think there should be a subject, or there should be a program. When a child enters, when a boy or a girl enters his 6th or 7th grade, so there should be certain people who basically studies the students. And I think it happens in the States, but it has to take place like in all across the world and all across the
counselors, right? Like
yes.
I think what I have seen, at least, or what I know so far, is like most or some, let's say, some schools or a lot of schools, I don't know. I totally ignore that. But let's say in the football environment, these guys, they do have counselors because they are focusing totally on football, but they are always having problems with school. But the system, I think, is helping them to go through sports in order to just to come or to play to NFL or as high as you can go, but they want to feed that kind of environment. And I think in regards with the school, maybe they don't need to make those good grades, but good enough, just so they can be in both places.
Yes.
So it's just like that's my guess. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, the thing is, not everybody can be like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Like there are certain talents, they just shine. But there is also a thing called hard work and dedication. So what if, let's say, Dario was really good with giving coaching sessions, and he didn't discover it up until he was 28 years old? What if there was a guy who realized back when Dario was 13 years old that this guy has the potential of actually shaping someone's life, and he started giving him some useful tips? So let me ask you this question. Would the Dario who just discovered this at the age of 28 would become a better professional, or would the Dario who started working on it by the age of 13?
Definitely, the answer is not a no-brainer. Of course, it would be. I would have more experience so far, but I would say some other thing. Like I think I have like both positive and my own negative opinions about both ways. But let's talk about the positives. Like the positives are, okay, maybe right now, or let's say the current situation that I'm living right now is. It took me longer. It took me so many different ways that I didn't want. But at the very end, or right now, let's say at the point of my life where I am right now, is I am enjoying the process. So right now, before it was painful. In the last couple of 3-4 years, it was totally painful because I didn't know what to do. I was totally lost. I was in another country. I didn't speak the language, or I was learning it. I didn't have a job, so it was like everything was against me, and I was alone somehow because my family or no one of my relatives are here. Some friends that I had, they lived in another city. I was living in Stuttgart. Some of them are living here in Munich. So they're like, oh shit, I cannot see them like so often. So like I was like kind of alone. So everything came up together for me. So this kind of situation for so many people obligates people to go back to whatever you had before, like just to quit, like, yeah, fuck it, let's just go back to my country, my city, my town, and then just do my life there, because I don't know if it's the easy way out or is the comfortable way out or is the only way I have to do something, because nobody, like, really nobody wants to go through the pain. Like nobody. Like nobody. That's nobody in his or her own healthy mind would go with like, oh yeah, I want some banana. That's stupid. But right now for me is like, man, like everything I did there, like maybe I'm gonna talk about like the specifics later, but everything I did, every step of the way has been worth it. That's the only thing I can say. Of course, if I would do something different before, maybe I would have another job, another situation. Maybe I would be living in another place. But the experience that I have from going to this painful situation gave me this like sense of purpose, sense of, okay, now that I know how painful it is, I want to give back. Now I want to help. Now I have this energy too. I don't want to go back. Like the pain is there, so you're like, no shit. Yeah, so.
And what about when you were 13 years old? What would have been the case if someone helped you out with it? And
that would be amazing. Yeah, I think one thing that I would say regret, but I didn't depend on me. It was like I would like to have the chance to develop in something that I would be really good at. And I think I had chances, but my environment didn't support it. That's another thing.
Can I rephrase my question?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Instead of saying the same question, I'm gonna ask you this. What is that one thing that you think that if that would have happened way earlier in your life, it would have made you more, a successful person much earlier on? I'm not saying that you're not a successful person. Or not that I'm saying you have taken bad decisions, but let's say, what if that one thing that would have happened, or let's say if I ask...
How different would be, maybe from those situations?
What if I put this in this way, that if I take this Dario of 30 years old and I tell him to go back in time and tell the Dario of 15 years old... that, yo, do this thing and you're gonna be thankful to me for the rest of your life. So what's that advice?
That's two questions actually. But the first one, I would say, definitely my life will be different. Having the right people, maybe not many, but maybe some, maybe one. One person can make the difference.
Sure.
And I think I would take more action in the direction of where I wanted to go. The thing is, I think the biggest problem for everybody is like, we don't know what to do. Like we don't know where to go. And that's the biggest problem, because if you already knew in a younger age, you would start it earlier. That's the thing, just knowing what to do.
Yes.
Because we all start like in zero. Like maybe your parents have more money, or maybe you have a better position. Maybe you lived in a country with more resources, opportunities, whatever. But we all start from zero. Like we don't know anything. So we need to start learning everything from some place. Maybe from some is better. Maybe from some is more difficult. And what you said, like this different in intelligences, maybe, for example, being good at sports, and maybe like, you can develop that in certain places. If I had the chance, I think, that would be better, but I think my life would be different. How? I don't know. I don't know if better or not. I don't know. Because maybe I would have more money or businesses, or, this is a thing that I like, but maybe I wouldn't have a family. So that would change totally my life.
Maybe you wouldn't have been more happier.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy right now.
That's a really philosophical question.
That make me think about it, because like, would you change, for example, more success for whatever you have right now? Like, well, what I have right now, I like it. Like in the current situation, maybe a couple of years ago, I would say no, definitely the other one. But right now, I'm happy with my life, and now I'm working to that direction. So it's like maybe I took like how do you say, like a way out somehow, and then I'm coming again.
Took a detour.
Detour. I took a detour for a couple of times, and then I'm trying to go back. Yeah. But now I have more, or this experience, I would say, is different. And the other question I forgot already.
What advice you would have given yourself?
Yeah, that's the other one. The other one is like, for like two things. I would say, go hard. And something that I discovered recently, you're gonna do big things. I don't know if for you or for others, or maybe for both, but you're gonna do big things. So just keep that in mind. However, like whatever you choose.
For any guy, for any person.
No, for me. You ask me. So no, if I would say to anybody that is hearing, like 15 years old or so, it's just like, just stop hearing whatever your like negative people around you, wherever maybe it's your parent, your father, your mom, your sister, whatever, maybe your best friend, your girlfriend, whatever. If they are negative, if they are trying to stop you somehow, fuck them. And I really mean it.
But it's easier said than done. How do you
totally
how a child I should use the word child or a boy
it's totally
a 15 or 16 years old has this willpower to just let go from his parents.
Talking about role models and talking about mentors and stuff, I had also my old role models, my older brother, my dad, one football player, Mexican football player. He played in Real Madrid, so I had these role models, right, growing up. And after a while, you discover that you are coming to their level. It's like somehow you are getting up to them somehow. And when I was there, I was like, "Fuck! Like, where else should I go? Like, what's the next step? What I'm looking right now is not like everything I want to do." So now, I in that moment, I started losing perspective. And I think it's like, if you want to, it's like, the question is, what you want to do with your life. If you want to go hard, you want to go big, if you want to do, you be successful and famous, whatever you want to do, like, go and look for the best person in the industry around the world. It doesn't matter. And try just to do whatever they are doing. That's the best thing that I would say to somebody. If you want to be a football player, watch whatever you can about Messi or Ronaldo. Like, just watch them, model them. That's the thing. If you want to be an engineer, be the fucking best engineer. If you want to be a doctor, be like Dr. House. I don't know. Watch everything about it. Like, it depends. If you want to be a politician, be the best politician. So,
I think that's a really valuable advice, I must say, because in this time...
forget the rest. Yeah. Because these guys, they made everything to get up to this point.
Yes.
Everything. They are doing it, or they did it.
Yes.
So, who else is going to teach you how to do it? Like them?
The internet.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
that's basically my point, because if you, let's say, we were to have this conversation 50 years ago, and there was no internet, there was nothing whatsoever.
Even
so
in our
you have
age,
to travel. Yeah.
Even in our age, like, internet is recent.
Yeah, like it wasn't the same like back when we were in our school years. Like, we got to know about it first, and when we were in.
How old were you when you started using internet? Not computers, internet.
Internet. Back when I was in like 8th grade or 7th grade.
Like 12, 13, 14?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So you
12, 11 or 12 years.
So you lost like a lot of years? Yeah.
Now, if I look at my niece or nephews, they know everything, and they're like 5 or 6 years old. And they know how to call, they know how to FaceTime, they know how to use apps, how to open the phones. Yeah. Like, I didn't know about smartphones until I was like 16 or something. Yeah. And now they can do anything on the smartphone. One of my nephew even knows more than his mom. Yeah. And he's 7.
They catch up really fast.
So yeah, we should be really careful of our younger upcoming
No, you don't need to be
generation.
careful. You need to push yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's like you don't need to go. You don't need to see who is coming. You need to go where you're going. It's like I'm going after the guy who is in front of me.
Yeah. So
what about you? What would you do differently?
what would I do differently? Or what would I give me? Do you want me to...
What, two things. Like what would be different from now if somebody gave you the right advice at the right moment? Let's say 11, 15 years old, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And what would be that advice? Like from you to your younger version.
Okay. I would say that the one advice that I would want to give to myself if I was like, be confident and don't care about what other people's tell you. Like, just put aside all the negative remarks. Because there were points in my life that there were people who were, I should say, jealous, or they just wanted to put me down.
Yeah.
You know, motivationally, there are bad people every single time. So I would have said that just be confident on what decisions you want to take. And for example, it was ultimately on me to take the decision of civil engineering. But later on, I realized that I was more into programming language, let's say, or more into software engineering. So even if I had taken this decision of civil engineering, I would have also told myself to stick by your decision. If you have taken that decision, it was basically you who actually took that decision, not your brother, not your best friend, not your mom. And don't blame it on the others. If you have taken that decision, just stick to it like a man and stop complaining and just find a way out. That's one of the advice that I would have given myself.
Maybe not even way out, make it work.
Make it work, yeah, that's the
way
thing.
out is like somehow like quit.
Yeah.
Quitting.
Because you know the thing
don't
is...
quit. That's another one. Don't quit.
Don't quit, yeah.
Yeah. Quit is for sissies.
Yeah. Because if you ask me, I didn't like civil engineering, but I still did it. And I also had to work in the industry. But I ended up, what I'm doing right now, I ended up doing the thing that I love. So I still kind of made it work out.
And that is?
And that is becoming, a master's student in management. Like after that, I want to learn about business. And then later on, I want to be an owner of my own business. So I had an engineering background. I made it work out. I came to a different country. I still made another mistake. And now I'm studying something that I really love. Yeah. So even though all those bad decisions, I still managed to do what I love. So what about all the blaming that I did? Yeah. What about all the cursing that I did while I was studying? What about all the negative thoughts? What about all the bad things that I did to myself, like isolating or not socializing? Did it help me? No, it didn't. So I'm going to say to myself...
Well, maybe indirectly. Because maybe the moment it didn't work for you or it didn't help you, but maybe it gave you the chance to get good grades. Maybe. And if you got good grades, that's one of the reasons you're here.
You know, the thing is...
Everything builds up, man.
Yeah. The question is really philosophical. Yeah. All right, this happens because
that's too early for that question, but it's cool. Yeah.
So, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's say I was really into games development, like esports.
You told me you were a profi.
A profi?
Profi is in German. Professional.
Yeah, I was a semi-pro, not a pro, but a semi-pro. Yeah, to all my fans.
Yeah. What were you playing?
It's a game. It's a MOBA multiplayer online.
So like in esports.
Yeah, in esports. Do you know about League of Legends? So there's another game called Defense of the Ancients, and like it's really famous now. So I used to play it a lot. I got really good at it. I got recruited by one of the best local teams. We ended up winning LAN tournaments and everything. But
I cannot believe it.
Yeah. Even though while I was studying and doing all this,
I was good playing at Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Bros.
Super Smash. Yeah.
But esports is still a developing scene, and there are not many career aspects, so I had to let go of my passions. So yeah, that was it. So the advice, I mean, coming back to the question, the advice that I would have given to myself would be not to blame it on others. Take your decisions, don't blame it on others, and stick to it by a man and make it work.
I think that's part of life. I mean, since I have been developing this career in coaching and personal development and professional development, is everybody, we go through these steps. Like, it's normal. It's very normal. Like, finding people complaining, having people like I was one of them. I was.
I think we still are.
Yeah. No, I still complain, man. Like, sometimes it's like rainy, snowy, like fuck it. Like, yeah, of course it's normal. But the thing is, like, I don't stick to the idea. That's the difference right now. It's like if I, for example, have a problem or a situation that I don't like, it's like, oh fuck that. Okay. I am responsible, actually.
Yes.
Because, like, for example, you had a problem with your boss or your girlfriend, wife, or partner, or whatever. It's like you decided to be there. You decided to be with him or her. Like, you were part of this situation. So if you are in that situation, get the fuck out of there, but take the responsibility of it.
Yeah.
Because you also were part of it.
Yeah.
It's like I was here and God put me here, and it was like, it's not like that.
I think what complaining normally does to people is like,
it's normal.
When you complain, basically you stay in your comfort zone, because what basically happens, let's say if I complain about something,
that's totally true. I totally agree. Is being in your comfort zone, and the other one is avoid responsibility.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Being in comfort zone means that you're avoiding your responsibilities.
Depends, because you're it's true, and also but the thing is, your comfort zone. You always have a comfort zone. Everybody has. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, everybody has it. Like, it's a human thing. Like, but the thing is, like, your comfort zone grows.
Yeah.
So maybe you were not responsible at the beginning, but maybe by let's say doing things that were hard for you or difficult, then you took responsibility. You step up, and then you are responsible now, a manager or whatever, business owner. But your comfort zone expanded. So the comfort zone still there. The question is if you are responsible or not, or you are complaining, or you are bitching around. That's the question.
It's I'm gonna retract to what you said.
No, it's okay.
That
totally
complaining, the idea of complaining, like to complain and this sticking to the idea of complaining, they're two different things. And you can complain about anything. I can complain about this seat. Yeah, it's not comfortable, man. But still giving me the purpose and everything. But the idea of complaining is like me sitting here and not doing anything to replace this thing.
Exactly. I think that's bitching, right?
Yeah, the right word is
whining.
Yeah.
That's
the thing is, once I believe you start complaining, let's say to someone, you basically, let's say, take that other person and you just feel good about yourself that you are not the only one and that other person agrees with me. Yeah. And once you get this validation from that other person, then you kind of feel good about yourself. Yeah. You see, let's say you have a bad manager and you complain it to me. Yeah. She or he is blah, blah, blah. And I say, yeah, you're right. So what's going to happen to you? It's not going to affect the manager.
Feel better.
Yeah, you're going to feel that, relief. Yeah, you will feel relief. Yeah. But does it help you to change your situation?
That's not
so
accurate.
This idea of complaining, I think it's a toxic thing. Yeah. And do complain, but don't adhere or don't advocate this idea of just complaining and not doing anything about it.
I heard once, and that actually shaped. I heard once an idea about this complaining thing and negativity, because it's mostly about negativity.
Yes.
Negativity could be in very different ways, but I heard one.
Thank you.
One concept about it, and I was just like, oh, that's so fucking profound, and it's like really, really sharp and really smart. It's like every time you are complaining, that means you have the chance to take control about it. And I was like, whoa, that's it. But just think about it. Every time you are complaining or bitching or whining or whatever you're doing that you don't like, it's an opportunity for you to take responsibility.
Can you give me an example?
For example, it's like, oh, fuck, I don't like the weather. It's raining. Like, what can you do? Like, you have the opportunity to take control about the situation. Like, of course, you're not going to change the sun, the clouds. Of course, you can't. Of course, I don't stupid. Yeah, I don't understand. But you can take a jacket. Or, what can else you can do?
Turn on the heater.
Yeah, move. If you don't like the place, move. Go to another place. Go to this beach.
Mm-hmm.
Or go to another country or whatever. Like, do something. Maybe you cannot change the conditions, but you can change your conditions.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna come back to our original topic of what we are discussing about, and I'm gonna stick to this same concept of complaining. Because you're asking me what I face, how I ended up here. So I had to also make a lot of sacrifice, a lot of decisions, and along the way, I met many people who were just complainers. They just complain. And the most common people, I think everybody can relate to this, are the ones who complain that they're not financially stable or that they don't have the resources. Yeah, like there are cases, and I understand, I respect them, that not everybody can be the same, and someone has financial problems, and that like they have to make the best of the resources of what they have. But the thing is, like, you must have seen many people's, and that like they have certain financial resources, and if they want, they can achieve, let's say, many things, but they stick to just complaining. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna give a really simple example. Coming to, let's say, Europe, or going to the States for your master's. Since I'm a student, I'm gonna be addressing the same audience. Many students just complain that they don't have the finances to move to States or to come to Germany or just Europe in general. And they're like, the fee structure is too much, the cost of living, the language barrier. What are these things? They're just complaining, And what if I tell you that I was also in the same place, and at one point I was also complaining? Did it help me? No, it didn't. Did I do anything about it? Yes, I did. That's
the question. That's why one of the reasons I wanted you to come here, because once you told me, I don't remember exactly how you told it or how you said it, but you mentioned that you didn't have the resources to come here, or somehow like this, you correct me, or the enough, or I don't remember, and to stay here is also difficult, because it's like, look, my dad is like this Saudi whatever rich dude who is paying for everything, and I can do whatever. Like, no, it's not your situation, it's not my situation. So there is a struggle there.
Yes.
So which one? What happened there?
All right, so like I'm just gonna stick to my situation, and because I personally think that my case basically reflects the cases of most of the students who are going to go through this phase, which I already went to, and it's that they will feel like that they don't have the finances. Trust me when I say this.
Does it matter where you come from? Yeah,
it doesn't matter where you're from. Like, if you're from Mexico, from like any place of the world. I also worked 2 years, but I still didn't have the finance to manage myself.
Do you need to speak English?
To speak English?
Yeah, or to know English?
Yeah, of course. Like, English is an international language.
I'm asking you honestly. Yeah. It's not like I'm playing around. Like, I'm asking because, for example, I learned English since I was in kindergarten, but I never spoke it. I was like, why? Like, there is no why. Like, you go out, you speak Spanish. You go to vacations, you speak Spanish. You go maybe somewhere else outside your country, you speak, for example, to the States, you speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's like, why should it speak another language?
Okay, so that's a really cultural kind of a thing, or I should just.
And a lot of people don't let's say, don't value that much. It's like, okay, yeah, I can understand.
You know, there's a thing why English is considered as the international language.
And business language.
Yeah, it's because we need to have a common source of communication.
Yes.
And that's why I think that you need to know English. Yeah. It's one of the skills that you need to have to move on with your life.
I think in this case, just to summarize that, is if you want to have an international opportunity, whatever you are thinking about, you should know English at least.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, coming back to this, to my case, I think you need to not give up. Even if you don't have resources, there are still other options.
Just tell me. I don't remember.
All right. So basically what you need is like you need to deposit 1 year of blocked account. Like the monetary value equivalent to 1 year of living expense just to get a visa.
Fuck.
Yeah. And that's like 9,000 euros.
Yeah.
And you cannot just make 9,000 euros like this. Your
Yes.
dad doesn't work in Audi. Or does it? I don't know. Does it? So I had to manage them.
So
and for that,
euros is like around maybe $10,000 at least.
Even more than that, because that's just a blocked account. Then after that, you need to do the shopping, because I come from a really, let's say, hot country which just normally have like summers for 10 months in a year. Mm-hmm. And you need to buy clothes, you need to buy the travel ticket, you need to buy you need to have cash at hand, you need to have like everything. So in general, let's say you need to have like
health insurance.
Yeah, they deducted once you are here from the blocked account. So in general, I'm just gonna make an approximate amount. Let's say you're an international student and you're planning on coming to Germany. So just keep it in mind that as of now, 2019 March, you need to at least have 10,000 euros. And if you are like,
how much?
I don't know the worth of my how much for my kidney.
Yeah, it's just like, just imagine, like, how much were you earning, like, as an engineer, monthly, yearly?
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, if I convert it in euros, it was basically like 400 euros
per month.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was earning something similar.
Yeah, so
500.
That's the difference. So, anyways,
shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you can relate. Being an engineer, being at the top of your class, but still making this.
Yeah, the thing is, like, but you can live. That's the thing. Like, for example, here you earn a good salary, and you can live, and you can still save some money.
Yes.
But over there in our countries, it's like you can live. And that's it.
That's it. No, nothing.
Like, you survive.
Yeah. And even the jobs are way more tougher. Like they demand more. Yeah, you have to work more. So I have just one advice to everyone who's gonna watch this and who's said that I know it's not easy if you don't have the finance. And I personally had to make a lot of sacrifice, and it wasn't just me, it was my family as a whole, because you cannot just do a finger snap and come up with 10,000 euros. You have to take, let's say, loan or whatever. You have to sell your property, XYZ. If you think that you have the guts, you are mentally, physically strong. And if you just don't want to escape your home country and just come here and just live here, because there are many people, for them they think that living abroad is like, getting away from all your problems and you're gonna have the time of your life. Yes, they do have opportunities. Yes, they have more opportunities. Yes, they are gonna give you your respected amount of salary or whatever but you have to work for it.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you are here, that they're going to give you 1,000 euros every month by just sleeping at your home and not doing anything. No, they're
the very same that you did back home.
Yes. So you're going to actually work for it. You need to make yourself mentally prepared that once you're going to start living here, there are not going to be any maids in your home that are going to clean your place. You have to wash your dishes. You have to do the grocery, do the laundry, do the cleaning, XYZ, A to Z, all the basic human necessities. You have to do that. And other than this, you have to...
And that's just like the standard. Like,
part of living, yeah. And to top it off, you have to bear the pressure of living alone for the first time. Because when you're coming here, it doesn't matter if you're from Mexico, if you're from Asia.
Question. You didn't live before alone.
Yes.
That's one question I ask so far in this podcast. Because I'm just curious. It's just like, did you have the chance to live before by yourself? And I think 3 guys told me, yeah. The thing is, I don't know if in Pakistan it is the case. In Mexico, it's like, if you want to have chances, like really good chances, you need to go to the big cities. So it's like either you go to Mexico, to Guadalajara, or Monterrey. So in Mexico City, of course, is the biggest opportunity because the whole industry, the whole big companies and stuff, is all of them are there. If you stay in the small cities or so, you will have chances, but it's just like not as good as going to the cities. The thing is, these guys, 3 guys or 4, these 3 guys, they were from different places of Mexico. And one guy, he actually, we studied together in the same university, the same time, and we graduated at the same time, but we didn't know. We met each other here. That's fucking stupid. Yeah, so the thing is, we spoke to each other and here also, and he told me like, yeah, the first time I moved out was to make my master's in, I think it was in Sweden. And how was it? Like, it was fucking difficult because I never had that opportunity to live alone and do everything for myself. And he was already an adult. He was 20 something. How old were you when you came here?
24.
So you lived 23 years at least.
Yes.
At home.
Yes.
And that's painful, right? Like, make that transition when you are an adult.
Yes. And
yeah, for me it was the same. I was 20, similar, 23, 24. I was like, fuck.
It's the same case with almost everyone, because the thing is like...
And for those guys, was easier, by the way, because they lived alone before.
Yeah, it was really tough for me. Like,
just to make
to all the people who are living with their family and who are thinking about coming here and leaving them, like, of course, living alone here for the first time, you also need to have a mental check about this, that you're not gonna start missing them right away in the first month. No. The first month, it's gonna be like, holy shit, it's really amazing. The weather, the technology, blah, blah, like everything. Yeah. You just are excited about everything. But once you have this feeling that you're actually living here, when your pulses are like, when you have low pulse, then you're like, all right, I'm living here now. Then you will have to go through this phase when you will have homesickness. And there was one night when I was talking to my brother in the States, and
your oldest brother?
Yeah, my oldest brother. He did his master's from the States, and he's like just living there. And I was just talking to him, and I just broke up. I just broke down. I broke up, and I just said, I cannot talk to you anymore. That was just one night with me. I think there are many students who just cry every now and then. But I still remember that night. That was exactly after 3 or 4 months after living here. And I just said that I cannot continue. I was actually on FaceTime with my brother. I said, I cannot talk to you anymore. So I just put down the call and I cried. And just cried my heart out.
I'm going to interrupt you a little bit. Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that this podcast is meant for is to not only to talk about, look how great I am and look the big shit I am. Like this, it's cool, yeah. Of course, it's good when you did something, yeah. But the other thing is like, so people know how difficult it is. It's not just like we're men, grown ups and stuff, but we also like have feelings, right? Like, it's like
yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's painful. Sometimes you're alone. Sometimes it's like, I want a hug, but nobody's here.
Yeah, I mean, there were times when I was sick, and I was actually like really sick, and I just wanted to be at home. And I was like, maybe if it would have been so nice if there was someone who could actually take care of me. Yeah. I've had the right resources, like whatever. But the thing is, like, those times made me stronger. That is the thing. Now, I'm gonna address two kind of people who come here. Like, there are people, I'm gonna talk about the first type of people. What they do is like once they come here, so they see that there are other people like them. For example, you're from Mexico. You come to Germany.
You tend to go to Mexicans.
Yeah, you tend to go to. That's the case with every other guy.
Yes,
you know, if a guy is from Pakistan, he will.
Even French guys.
Indians, Europeans, Persian, whatever. They normally stick to their own. So you see many Chinese and Japanese, they stick to their own people. Yeah. There might be other reasons for it, but the most common one is that, you know, you make.
How do you say pertinence? No. Just to belonging.
Yeah, just to have the same. So it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
I think we all need that.
Yes, but the thing is that when you're here, and if you're sticking to the same people, and if you're just whining about it, let's say, you know, I really miss my family, I really miss the food, I miss the culture, I miss the blah blah blah, and the other person is like, you know what? Yeah, that's the same with me. Is it gonna help you? Tell me, is it gonna help you?
You just share the feeling.
Yes.
The understanding.
It's not gonna help you. It. So for me,
I don't just have a group to complain with each other. So.
Yes. You trust me when I say this. It's not the right way. It's the easier way, and it's the way that most of the students, even after coming here, do this. It's not a bad thing. Trust me, it's not a bad thing.
Let me tell you.
But can I finish this?
Sure. Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry. It's just really important. I'm in the zone. Go. I'm just gonna say this, that it's not a bad thing. It's fine to complain and everything, but living here for more than 1.5 years now, I think that once you are here, you need to adapt to their culture, because you are in, let's say, for example, in Germany. The whole Germany is not gonna adapt to one individual or like few people. Yeah. So you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to move your ass. How long do you need it to realize that? 4 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That one night, when I cried my ass out, I had a talk to myself. Do I want this with my life, or do I want to be the other kind of people that I haven't talked about? I just only talked about the first kind. The other kind of people are those, you know, who do something. So I just said to myself that I've invested so much in my life. I don't want to fail now. I don't want to go back. And I want to do something with my life. So that's when I started about like applying for different jobs, doing something for my accommodation. And I started off with making small goals. Like I didn't start it off with like, I need to have 6 packs by tomorrow. No, I know that's not going to happen. But what I started off is like, there's a really famous video on YouTube and there's this Navy officer, I don't know about his
David
name.
Dawkins?
I actually don't know his name, but I know like what he told me, that if you want to be successful, you need to start by making up your bed. And his he's in a white uniform. So the reasoning behind it is that he says that when you wake up and you're still kind of sleepy and you're really not in your mood, you need to have your coffee, have breakfast, have a bath, a shower, everything. And the first thing that you see is that your bed is in a mess. Yeah. And if you can develop this habit of like making up your bed every single day, even if you like it or not, then you will have this habit of facing certain obstacles in your life.
This is a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
You develop a feeling of success.
And you will have this habit with you all your life. Let's say if you don't like something, you still have this habit that you cannot do it, and you can easily put yourself out of the comfort zone. So basically, I wanted to be that kind of person, and I did this started with making off my bed. I did this by cleaning my dishes every single time I had dinner or lunch. I did this by putting my shoes in my right place, by making my life more systematic, like by cleaning, by doing this, by taking care of myself. And once I started taking care of myself, both physically, then I started taking care of myself mentally. And I did this by reading books. One
thing. Yes. For some, it may sound stupid, I would say. Not for me, because I went through the same. Or I'm still in that game. So it's like, oh, yeah, but you can do it later, or you can pay for it, or you whatever. You put it in the laundry machine or whatever. Yes, but the fact that you do those things, it develops in yourself this sense of responsibility, one thing. And the other one is like the sense of doing things. It's like accomplishment.
Yes.
It's like accomplishment. Like, oh, I did this. Okay, I finished. Like every time you finish something, you feel good.
Yes.
Like it doesn't matter if it's a stupid. Yeah, even if it's your bed, it's a stupid stuff. That's why you say it may sound stupid, but you feel good. It's like, oh, I did it. I didn't want to, but I did it.
Yes.
The next thing.
And what happens when you do it? Oh yeah, I did this. It gives you energy to do the second task.
Yeah.
And step by step, once you start working on yourself, of course you have to study. You have other courses as well. But when you see that your own place is clean, when you feel clean, when you feel good about yourself, what's gonna happen? Then you can focus on things that are important to you. If your house is in a mess, if you're eating junk food, if you're not taking care of yourself, you will, I'm talking about most of the cases, you won't be in a better state of mind to focus on the things that are important for you. So my advice would be just that, number one, to adapt to the culture.
You said also, I interrupt you in the books. So
yes.
The way to like, one thing I realized too, like you need to feed everything. Like I learned there is a quadrant. Like I don't know if I read, I heard, I don't know, but it's like there are like 4 types or 4 things in life. It's like your physical body, your emotional body, your mind body, and your spiritual body.
Soul, yeah.
Soul, yeah. So the thing is, like, the only thing that we can physically notice is the physical body.
Yes.
Because everything is like somewhere. It's somewhere. Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah, you lift dumbbells. Oh, yeah, you have nice biceps.
So the natural thing is to, okay, I'm going to run or to exercise. And that's the only thing we fit if we do at all. So that's the funny thing. So that's a physical thing. But you also need to take care of your emotions. You also need to take care of your mind. You also need to take care of your spirit or your soul. And that's what you're mentioning.
Yes.
I don't know exactly how you came up to it.
It's
that's
life.
Interesting. Yeah,
that's like life
exactly,
happens.
Cool.
Like there's no other way to put it. Life
because
happens.
I heard it and I was like, "Fuck!" I thought about it, or I felt something that I was missing, and when I realized it, I started like looking for it.
Yes. So basically,
was the case for you?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there were times when I was down. There were ups and downs in my life, but it was kind of the same case, I would say, because. When you see yourself in the mirror and you don't feel good about yourself, you won't feel good about anything. Yeah. It starts off with feeling good about yourself and just believing in yourself. And how are you going to do this? By doing something for yourself. And about the other 3 things, the mind, the mental, and the spiritual thing, the bad thing, not the bad, the cons about these things is that you cannot see them. But you can see the physical changes. And let's say if you start working on yourself physically and you notice that you are losing weight or you're putting up weight or you're doing something with yourself, you're going to feel good. And once you feel good about yourself, you're automatically, the other 3 elements are going to catch up to you. So I would suggest that if you are living alone, please don't sit in your room or in your dorm like for one whole day. Just every single day, make a habit of just going out from your house.
I think that's a blessing. Like totally. Like just living alone is hard because you are not used to it. That's okay. I mean, for Germans, I don't know. I cannot speak for Germans or for Americans. I don't know how it's in these cultures because I don't know this kind of like let's say how do you say not developing countries but developed countries.
Yes.
Or I don't know, like yeah. I don't know, US, UK, Germany, and stuff. Like they tend to be more independent since they are younger. Yeah. So I don't know how it's the case for them. I don't know. Yeah. We're not talking about them so far because I think they are doing good
Yes.
in certain ways. But the thing is, like, we are coming from an environment that does not help us to be or interact in the best way possible.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I completely understand what you're trying to say, and I got your point. That was the first thing that I actually got to experience firsthand. Because I've been to other places, but they were like same people, like people from my same country or from Asia in general. And we have this thing called being culturally involved, like being more open and frank. You see, let's say I didn't know you before, but I know that you're an open guy, you're frank, and you are open to discussions, or let it be religious, philosophical, or of any ground. But the first thing that I experienced it here, and I kind of felt, I was actually shocked after facing it, was the cultural shock about having their own respect and value for their private space and their they just want their own space. They value their own space. I respect this, because after living here now, I also want my own private space. And
How about the time? Like being on time.
Yeah, it has improved me a lot. It has made me a better, like I used to be like 5-10 minutes in, right? but now I'm used to it.
Mess with your head. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
You need to be on time. So so you need to get used to it, that not everybody is gonna be really open to you. Just give them their time, give them their space. And if you really want to socialize, then there are other people from other races like you and me. We're from different, but we are taking our time out to get to know each other. So
there's one thing, like a funny story. When I came here at the beginning, like I don't know how many years ago, maybe 5 so far. 2004, 6, I don't remember. I remember they were like, why everybody's so like attached to this punctuality thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's okay to come late 5-10 minutes. It's just like, if you were at the bathroom, like I was trying to justify. Like, if you just went to the bathroom, or you just have a call or whatever, like just take whatever you want to do. Like, I just took my time. And once I came here and started realizing, like, it's not about you. It's about them. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? It was like, I learned that way. Like every time you come late, whatever situation, maybe it's a party, maybe it's at work, maybe it's at a friend's, whatever reunion. Once you are coming late, people are already expecting you, waiting for you. And you are disrespecting them by being late. And I was like, whoa, that's like deep, right? Like, because I don't know if you thought about it, but when I learned it like that, I was like, whoa, that's actually interesting, because I never thought about it. Because if I think only about me, like, of course, that's not a big thing. Yeah. Because I was okay. I was doing... And
you can justify it every single time.
Because I was doing okay, so fuck you, right? And once I started thinking about, like, oh, wait a minute, but they also have interest. They also have time. They also want to do things. And they couldn't do small things like me because they were waiting for me. I was like, oh. That's when I started changing. Like, now it was like, oh, we are going to be late. Because it's like they are waiting, and I don't want people that are coming late for my own things. Like, I don't know, meetings or stuff. And I was like, no, that's disrespectful. So,
you learn a lot of good things. Right? Yeah, you learn a lot of good things, and you have to give it to them for being professional. If there's a reason that, if they're successful at stuff, at technology and all the new shit that they're doing, there's a reason behind it. And I believe one of the reasons is punctuality and keeping everything in systematic order. Because if you work 9 to 5 every single day, and you know for a fact that you have to use your mental energy, like your brain is used to it, then you're gonna produce results. And if your brain is not used to putting the same energy every single day, so you're gonna come up with something amorphous. Yeah.
You're gonna lose them or so. And actually, there's one thing came up to my mind is I wanted to compare. That's actually another thing is like comparing cultures, comparing like I don't know if you have noticed that, like comparing like how it has been for you in Pakistan, here for me in Mexico and so like, and then comparing it back to your family, to your friends.
That's really a deep and a personal question, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think it differs from person to person.
Yeah, of course. But in general, how has been your experience?
All right. So in general, since I was good with sports and I was really friendly with my classmates, so everybody liked me. But I didn't like had this habit of just tagging along with every other guy. You know, there are people who want the spotlight every single time they're there. They just want everything to be about themselves. I was not that guy. Everybody liked me because of sports, because of just being a good student in general, and how I carried myself. But I preferred to have my own private space or being kind of having an intro-extrovert nature, mostly introvert. And stick in front of the PC, going through Reddit, playing games and stuff like this. So for me, even though I was in Pakistan, I was still that kid who would prefer having this own space. And I was not, I mean, I used to go out with my friends, but really limited friends, you know, the ones I enjoyed the company. Yeah. So
playing.
Yes. Playing or even other, your university friends.
Your interest changes.
Yes. So I think of myself as an exception, but if you talk about, let's say, a more common example, a kid who hangs out more with his relatives, who socialize.
Wait a minute, sorry. I'm saying, or the question or the topic was, what I tried to say was directly to the people close to you. That's when you can measure things or compare things. For example, since I'm here, I have been seeing or watching my own transformation, my own behavior through time, and I could all the time compare myself in my old version, coming here, doing the things I'm doing here, going back, coming forward and back and stuff.
Okay.
And then the last time I went there, I was like, fuck, like I cannot believe I was like them. You know, like
yeah. So I'm gonna come
in a good way.
Yes.
In a good way.
I'm gonna come to this as well. This is basically where I was actually going to.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna put my case, since I was not that much extrovert, I should say, even though I still talk to many people and all. So it doesn't affect me this much. Like I did had my phases of facing loneliness and all the shit, but I still had my online friends with me, and I think that was a blessing. So I was still in contact with my friends. Yeah, it helps a lot knowing that you have friends.
I developed more online friends since I'm here than before. Before I used to have normal friends, and it helps. Yeah.
And since I was kind of like famous in the esports, since I had a lot of people who already knew me or already wanted to play with me, and I had like really good friends online as well, like people I've been playing with for like 8 years, 9 years, and we are like friends. We haven't met each other in 10 years. Okay. We only know each other from Facebook or WhatsApp or just from online Discord, but still we are like these homies.
And actually, these kind of relationships, that's fun. Like these kind of relationships sometimes are deeper.
Yeah.
It's crazy for me, but I
want to use the word dank here. They're more dank. Yeah. They're more accustomed to using memes and dark humor, and that's kind of
but you know, I think it's. I mean, since we have internet, this gives also the chance to many people, not everybody, but many people, to have your own space, but at the same time being yourself, because you have this kind of space between like every message, every WhatsApp, every Facebook post, whatever. You have this distance to be yourself. Like you don't need to to be apologizing or to be faking in front of people, to fake your, how do you say, fake off or pretend being another person. Like sometimes when you're in a group of people, you try to make up stuff just to keep up with the conversation.
I understand.
Like, I'm not talking about everybody, but it happens.
Yeah, that's why I said I put myself in an I put myself as in a different case, like in a unique case, because normally I think still now, like, everybody likes to play sports and shit, but the thing is, you still have a lot of friends and everything, because I see it, like, I still see certain students and I still meet certain people who are not accustomed to, let's say, esport. For them, it's still a video game. For me, it's a platform. For me, it's a platform to talk to my homies. But now, when I have enough friends, when I'm doing other stuff, other important things, when I have like other things. No, I don't talk to them that much, nor do I play games anymore. But there was a time when I was, let's say, going through this depressing phase and loneliness. I would like to say that my online friends were there for me. Like, there were times when I was not talking to my family, but I was talking to my online friends because we used to play together. So, and once,
guys, girls, you are not alone.
And I used to read a lot of blogs and shit on Reddit, so it also helps.
Do you know what? That's a so fucking interesting thing that you are saying, because I went through something similar, but I went at the same time to something different. For me, was not actually, I would say for me at the moment was stupid, but it helped me a lot. Like, at the moment, I felt alone, I was depressed, and I was going through a difficult time for myself. Like, right? Of course, everything is about you. And for me, I didn't have, of course, I had a lot of friends. That's the funny question. The funny thing, I had a lot of friends. I have a lot of people. I was in Mexico, but I isolated myself. And I went through this difficult time. I don't know why, but I went through. And I used not to be like that. Anyway, the thing that helped me a lot, I started reading books about successful people. And it gave me the chance to connect with these people. Because some of them were dead, some of them were alive, but some of them I never met. Or maybe sometimes you don't have the chance to meet them, right? So I was reading them a lot, and I was like, okay, but how do you go through the dark moments of your life, or how do you go through this or that, and how people like, I don't know, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs or so, they went through these dark moments and they
ended up becoming successful.
Like, please tell me, like, somebody help me. And I was reading and I got answers, and that was the fucking magic for me. And I was like, that's what, like, what? Every time I have a doubt, every time I don't know something and I'm like desperate because I want to know, I go and look, I go and search, whatever, seminars, conferences. Now, before, now I don't read that much, but now it's more about conferences, web courses, audiobooks, like more something like more interactive thing. But yeah, definitely helps a lot.
I personally think that it depends upon person to person. Like, for example, for you, it was like reading success stories, if I should say. And like, let's say for my friend, my best friend, for him, it was like also kind of the same thing. He used to read books about financial literacy and just about, like, finding meaning of life, stuff like this. For me, it was playing games with my friends, just increasing my general knowledge and like in total, and reading fictional comics, fictional books and stuff like this, or just going through memes. For some other guy, it's like going out with his friends. So it depends upon person to person. The main point is, if you're facing this phase of loneliness, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna just cry in the comfort of your room?
I think.
Are you gonna
I think it's a really hard question because
you need to find the answer.
You can go through this situation alone, or you can go through this situation with people like your family or your friends. I have two experiences. One is when my situation was living with my parents. So I was close to my family, and I was living the situation. So I had no excuse of being alone, but I felt like that. And the other one that I remember is one guy committed suicide when I was in university. And this guy, I mean, I met him a couple of times because we played soccer together. And this guy was like dumped from his girlfriend, and then he committed suicide because he valued so much his girlfriend. And then once he was alone, we were like, and he hung up, yeah.
Hanged himself.
Hung himself actually in his bedroom. So I was like, what? Come on, bro! Like, you could talk to me, like whatever, right? So, yeah, that's why I like say like, be careful with that because everybody's in a certain situation. In this case, when somebody is in it.
And you don't know what's the level of their loneliness and depression is. For example,
or the reason.
Yes, for example, for you, just by reading success stories, you got out of it. For me, just by playing video games, I got out of it, or by working. But maybe if there is a guy, he is unable to find something like this. So the thing is, like, that's why you need to put a check on your friends. That's why and when you're free, just this is my personal habit. What I do is like I go to my contacts or I go to my friends list and I just see with whom I haven't talked to for a long time. And just it's a selfless thing. I just message them, hey, what's up? How have you been doing lately?
Like I am so happy that we are talking this topic because one of the reasons why I started this is you see everywhere like all this, I'm gonna show you how to be the big shit and stuff, and it's everywhere and it's okay, right? So I like that too, but because I have consumed that. But talking about this is like more real stuff. Like this is happening to a lot of people. Like that happened to me, that happened to you, or maybe even
that happened to Dwayne Johnson. Do you know it's a story?
I heard.
Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah, I heard about it. I saw it yesterday, I think.
Yeah. If you just follow his Instagram,
he started a campaign about the depression thing.
What?
I saw yesterday or today.
No. Like his life history, how he came to Miami and how he became this celebrity. Like, I mean, you can just look it up online. But to sum it up, he was not from a wealthy family. He didn't have money. And he still turned out to be the most famous and iconic celebrity of all time. And I would really recommend everyone to just go through his autobiography.
So yesterday or today that he is helping or donating money or so to people that is in this depressed thing.
Yeah, he does a lot of things. I mean, so the thing is, stay humble, stay low, stay foolish, stay hungry.
Yeah. Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. Yeah. Just one of the things which I don't like about certain individuals, I don't want to point it out, is that, all right, you're from, let's say, a developing country, or you're from a country that is not as developed as the country you're living now. It doesn't matter if it's like this country or whatever. But once you're here, please don't develop this ego, this narcissism in yourself. Because, hey, look at me. I'm wearing this Gucci. I'm wearing this. I'm wearing blah, blah, blah. Because the thing is, if you are here and if you have all of these things, there's nothing special about you. Yeah. Like, all right, you did the decisions, you did the right thing, you work hard for it. Yeah, that's good for you. Yeah, I wish you that you get even more. Like, just may you get even more in your life. But don't brag about it, because there are certain people in your social circle. You never know that if, let's say, if two people like you, how you're carrying yourself and how you have progressed. Maybe there are 3 people who one of them is getting jealous, and 2 are like, oh man, like we can never be like this guy. Just be the better person.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna stop you there. I think you're right. I agree. And what you can also do, because I am thinking like, no, wait a minute. Like if you want to brag, do it. I am thinking like this, right? Like we don't need to think the same. That's totally okay. But I am like, okay, if you want to brag, like I did this. It was so fucking difficult for me. I don't know if it's difficult for everybody. For me, it was difficult. And I did it, and I fucking did it. Yeah.
No, there's a different
That's
thing.
one thing.
You're okay.
That's one thing.
I'm in favor of this
that's
one.
like bragging. Like I think
you have the bragging rights of it.
Like
you know?
if you did it, you should brag. Like that's the thing. Because some people will be jealous, envy, and that's normal. And some people will be inspired. If you are not like cocky and just like look.
Okay, there are completely 2 different things at case. The first thing is like, let's say you wanted to get a fit body. You wanted to, you're at like, let's say 100 kilos and you lost 20 kilos. Now everybody knows losing 20 kilos is a big deal. And let's say you're gonna post a transformation pic, even though it's like pretty gay as fuck.
No, you're a fitness coach.
Yeah, it's pretty
right?
Yeah. It's pretty.
Did you see this meme that it was like, what would happen if Instagram just like, it's gone?
Yeah.
You cannot be a model anymore.
Yeah.
Do you see that one? Like, so, what would happen with your life? You cannot be a model.
It's gonna be more real.
Fitness model.
Yeah. So about this thing, I think it's right. If you're gonna post a picture about let's say a transformation pic of Dario like losing 30 pounds in like let's say 3 months.
There are people like losing like 50 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's a good thing. You should brag about it because you worked hard for it. But let's say if for example, you were lucky enough, I should say you were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to work for a big industry or to have your own business, and you have the money, the power and fame. So once or twice it's fine, right? All right, you did this and it's really good. But what if you keep on doing it? Like, there are certain celebrities who just keep on doing it. Oh, look at my this, look at my this. This excessive narcissism, which basically shows that everything revolves around you. Yeah. This is not right. This is what I'm trying to say. There's a difference. I
think, I have my opinion about it, and it's not against it, by the way. I think, look, I think life is, all right, let's say, nowadays life, because we have social media. Before you wouldn't know about them, right? Or just in the magazines, or maybe sometimes in the TV, right? When you have the chance to see these people, you would say like, oh. But nowadays it's like everywhere. You see it. Like there are a lot of pretenders. That's the people that I want to address. Pretenders, spenders, like they just want to show off. Yeah. These guys, fuck them.
Yeah,
these guys, of course, totally agree. Like, these guys are nothing.
You know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is people who are actually millionaire or billionaires and people who actually have money or have established everything, they don't even brag. Yeah. Let's just
even if they do, they have the right to do it.
Exactly. Like let's say, for example, take Dwayne Johnson, take Roger Federer, take Tiger Woods, take Rafael Nadal, take Novak Djokovic. No one brags about his thing.
Zuckerberg, he's coming at me with a whatever $1 million and makes me like, bah, bah. I would be like flattered. Like, oh my God.
Because he did something.
I mean, because it's like he did it. Actually, I would ask him. Like that's a different. Like that's one of the things I have been changing in myself. It's like every time you are, how do you say, not questioning, criticizing somebody that you would like to be. Let's say you would like to be like.
Roger Federer?
Roger Federer, you like to be like him. Yeah. So let's say like you look at him and like, wow, dude, it's amazing, but somehow something inside of you say like, fuck it, like this guy, like that's a pretender, because it's normal. It's normal, right?
Nah,
for a lot of people, yeah. For a lot of people,
for a lot of people,
depends.
it could be.
You can admire him, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah.
For example, Cristiano Ronaldo. This dude, like, you may love him or hate him because he's so cocky or so show off and stuff. But it's his job. They paid him for doing that, so right? Or maybe it's his personality, so who knows? But you don't know him. Maybe he's...
But the thing is, even if you like him, even if you hate him,
he
still did it.
Yeah.
But what about the people who haven't done anything? And
exactly. That's what I mean. It's like I heard one story. I went to a in the last couple of months, like maybe 4 months. I went to 2 conferences in Miami, and I heard, I don't know if that's true, but I heard like several times that there are people in America that they are renting like really like big watches and big cars and stuff for a day or maybe less than a day. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's actually
like,
how do you think this is all rap videos? These rappers? How do you think they have this money? No, they don't.
For me, it wasn't real. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, people are paying shit. No, they're paying a lot of money for shit, like for a couple of hours. Like, what?
And it's not just about the watches; it's about the cars, it's about the mansions, and they just want to shoot their video, and they're like, "Look at me, I'm a rich."
But for me, it's not real. That's what I'm trying to say, because where I come from is like, if you have it, you have it.
That's why excessive. That's why I use the word excessive narcissism. I didn't say narcissism, because a bit.
I think this is like the pretender spenders.
A bit of narcissism is good for you. Why? I mean, I was reading in one of the books, and I think it was in this Emotional Intelligence 2.0, and there was a topic about self-awareness. And in that topic, they were basically telling us about different techniques, about self-management, not self-awareness. And one of the technique was to be a bit of narcissism. And at first I was kind of, because I'm skeptical about everything, I was like, narcissism is a bad thing. How can you say it's a good thing? But then they explain why a bit of narcissism is a good thing.
You're analytical. It's a different thing. Yeah. The one thing is being skeptical. That I'm still like that. But being analytical is like, okay, I'm skeptical until I figure it out. Until I do it. Couple of reasons that I can validate.
That's how I see everything. Yeah. So when I read it, and they actually said that, a bit of narcissism actually means that you love yourself, and there's nothing wrong about it.
Fucking amazing.
Yes. When you start loving yourself,
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you don't love yourself,
who's gonna love you?
No, that's another topic for another day. If you don't love yourself, anybody who is looking, really, if you don't love yourself, like, you don't have anything, really.
Yeah.
Because everything comes from inside. Everything comes from the inside. Like, if you want to have, if you want that people treat you with respect, you need to love yourself.
Yeah.
If you want that people gives you a chance for whatever, you need to love yourself. If you want to have a girlfriend, you need to love yourself. If you want to have some self-respect, you need to love yourself. Like, everything comes from self-love, and that took me 29 years to realize it. So, fuck yeah,
it took me 26 years.
Fuck yeah. If you love yourself, go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what your color is. Start by
the more you love yourself, the more you give a fuck about others, and in a good way. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you don't respect others, but it doesn't. What it means is like you don't pay attention to what others says about you.
The thing is, like, in life, there is always a balance of things. Yeah. Like, let's talk about narcissism a bit more. So first we discussed about excessive narcissism, like this end. it's bad. Nobody likes them. Nobody like pretenders. Or even if you have money and if you're showing off excessively, people are gonna stop valuing you. Yeah. They're gonna value you for the first time. And if you're not gonna love yourself, and let's say you're always that guy who's like, oh, nobody loves me, I don't have a girlfriend, I'm this, I'm depressed, people are still not gonna love. I mean, nobody gives a shit about people, but still, that's not a good thing. That's how should I say. But if you have a balance, only if you are between these people. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there is always like if. Mm-hmm. If you are with people like they are like this, this is your environment. You will see it like okay. Yeah, you will see that it's okay. Exactly. Yeah, it's totally fine. But I'm talking about in a more general. Yeah. So you need to have a balance of this. You need to love yourself, but not to the point that you think that everything is about yourself. Nor you should not love yourself. For example, let's say, oh my God, I'm a brown dude. What if it would have been amazing if I had like, a more fair color. Do you think about it? No, actually not. No, like having blue eyes, green eyes, being white. No. I thought about it. No, I don't. Being honest. Like the thing is, for me, like my experience, for me, for myself, for my own self, I in Mexico, like like being, I don't know if in Pakistan, that's why I'm asking you like these differences. Like being in Mexico, like we all have like this, or we are invaded from all this media from America. So like all the movies, all the whatever comics, superheroes, everything, TV series, everything comes from them. Like most of it. And of course you watch like the movie, whatever movie, Avengers, whatever you like, and a romantic thing, and you go with your girlfriend and you see two white dudes, right? Yeah. So it's like you see the girl and it's like fucking hot and like, I want to have one of those. And then you look at yours and it's like, shit. Not that she's ugly, but it's just you're comparing, but she's an actress and it's like, oh, and then maybe she's doing the same. So I mean, this is some of the things that I don't know, everybody has to live with it. So even it's all right. In real life is different. In real life is different. Like, oh hell, like fuck yeah, I also want to have someone like Margot Robbie or someone like some any good decent actress. But the thing is, there are many. Have you been in Australia? What? Have you been in Australia? Australia? Yeah. No. You should. Why? You should. All right. Maybe in future. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind. To Sweden. Yeah. Both. Sweden. Go. All right. That's my next tour trip. Go. Yeah. The only thing that I can say is go there. In summer. By the way. So I think we should come back to the topic. So no, I don't compare myself to other people. I mean, how long it took you, by the way, to realize like, fuck, I'm comparing to them? I mean, okay, or still. Like, because this is like the thing that you said before, like, oh, we don't need to complain, like we don't need to whine, blame, bitch, whatever. This thing about comparing yourself with others, it happens all the fucking time. Okay, do you want a more general opinion on this, or do you want my? No, I want your own opinion, because general is like political correct. God, I don't want to brag about it, but I'm not exaggerating anything. What I'm gonna say now, that's actually my case. Yeah, and it's okay, totally. So, to Pakistani standards, I personally think, with my experience, that I am a good-looking guy. Yeah, I'm an above-average guy. And I had low self-esteem. I was a chubby kid. But when I lost weight, when I started playing sports, then when I started working out especially, then I used to get compliments from my family members, from my relatives that you look. But the thing is, like, you don't care much about compliments from your family members or relatives, because no matter what happens, they're going to talk good about you. Yeah. But once you want compliments from people that you want to have. Yes, but once you start to get compliments, let's say first from your friends or from girls, then affects you. Then you
Yeah, of
start being confident. Hey, maybe I'm not that bad looking.
You always want what you don't have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a deep thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it started happening when I was like in first year of my high school that I realized it, and it kind of like gave me a lot of moral boost. Like I was really this confident guy then that, hey, maybe I'm not that bad anymore. And this moral boost kind of developed a sense of self-confidence in me, that I should accept myself as to who I am as a person.
How old were you?
16.
Okay.
So I stopped it. Even though I accepted that there were people who were more good looking than me.
Yeah.
They were more handsome, much more handsome than me. They were taller. They had these other attributes.
Yeah.
But instead of comparing myself, I accepted myself as to who I am,
I think
how I
that's
look.
hard.
It's really hard.
Like,
it's not easy because
we're talking about
physical.
How old are you? 26.
26.
I'm 30 right now, and like talking as a 30-year-old adult, it's hard. It is just hard because it now sounds like whatever, it happened. But at the moment, how hard was it?
It was really hard because
Like if some people like really teenagers are looking at this, they're gonna be like, oh really, is that possible? Like like
that's why I said, do you want a general opinion or do you want my
no
opinion?
yours.
So
yours.
my
Yours is more emotionally charged,
yeah.
so that's better
So
because
that
you have your opinion about it. And it's
actually, I'm gonna give a general opinion afterwards. Just a small small summary. So for me, it was like this, and I accepted myself. And there's one thing that I need to put it out is the fact that I had a fear of rejection. And I think it's one of the most common fears of all time. Yeah. So that's why, I mean, I still kind of have it to get rejected, but not as much. So
different way.
Yeah. So this fear of rejection, but I never got to face that. Like if I like let's say if I like a girl, I just went to her, I just go to her and I just talk to her. And like in all my life, in all my cases, they were like, hey, he's a cool guy. Just give him a chance. I never got rejected, to be honest. So it was that was the time which kind of made me this guy that, all right, then maybe I'm not that bad.
Let me tell you something interesting.
Just finish it off. And one more thing, I was really active in a sport. So if you want to feel good about yourself, you need to detoxicate your body by sweating it out. True. So you cannot feel good about yourself by sitting.
When you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You cannot feel bad when you see those muscles. Like, oh, right? Because you feel good. Like, you saw yourself like, oh my God, is that me? Oh, shit. Yeah, it happens. Let me tell you something. Like, couple of examples, but interesting for me. I met a couple of guys that I saw them. Like, look, every time.
By the way, I like now where this topic is headed from my life or my story.
That's like freestyle podcasting. That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, please carry on.
Every time you're comparing yourself, there is a sign of low confidence, I must say. Because if you are not that confident, you tend to compare and to look at others. It's just normal. Because I cannot say like, oh, everybody's confident. No, that's bullshit. Some people are really confident. And that comes from upbringing and education and stuff, from family and stuff.
And experience.
That's true, but that doesn't mean you develop confidence. Like, you can develop confidence. But maybe you don't have it. Maybe you express it. That's different. Okay. So that's another topic, really deep, actually. But we can talk about that later. But the example that I'm trying to say, like I remember like there were like 2 or 3 guys, I can't remember. They were like really good looking dudes, like really, I don't know, 190 meters. Like I remember, 190, like really tall guys. One guy was from Argentina. I met another guy in Australia. He was Australian. and the other one I don't remember. Let's say these two, okay, because these two are in my head. These two guys were like really nice, good-looking guys. I would say like every girl would like to be with them or fuck them or whatever, and they were like doing exercise. They were doing a lot of things, like to keep themselves fit and looking good and dressing good and all this stuff. And I sounded like, oh my god, like these dudes would have like everything if they want. A good job, like the best job possible. They would be salesmen, because I was an observer, right, from the outside. So when I saw them, I thought about that. But when I had the chance to talk to them, one of them, for example, this guy from Argentina, he told me like, oh, you know, like I have some confidence issues, and I don't enjoy myself when I'm close to girls, and I was like, what? Like,
was he gay?
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? And this guy could be an actor, and you know, like
from
kind of like
sure.
Yeah. And when I talked to this Australian guy in one of the seminars I went to Australia, these guys, when we had an interaction, right? Because like, okay, share with your partner. And this guy was my partner, and this guy was like good looking, like he used to do like weightlifting and stuff. And I was like, hey, like, what's your stuff? Mine was more about business, more about like how do you influence others, like this kind of stuff I was going into. And this guy was like, you know, like every time I'm in the club, I am not feel confident to talk to some girls. I'm like, What? What are you talking about? You look good. And this guy was like, no, but you know, like, and I was like, that was amazing for me. Like, it's a surprise.
You know, not everybody can get everything. So, you can like, it may appear that this guy has everything.
Yeah.
But maybe.
So the point about these examples is, it doesn't matter what the other people are living. Of course, it matters, but it matters what you are experiencing and thinking about yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like these guys were living their own lives and they were unconfident about it.
I mean, they would, in put it in other words, like they prefer to be in their own bubble, you know. And when they feel like they are out of their comfort box, they're just not themselves, and it just makes them uneasy. Yeah.
And have you talked to some girls or some women that they have been together or they are in a relationship with guys that they are not really good looking?
Yeah,
have you saw that?
See that?
Like really good, like really beautiful girls. They're with really ugly guys, and I was like, what the fuck? That happened to me so many times. Like, what is happening to this world? But these dudes are really confident. Like these guys, they know their stuff.
I mean, I've personally done a lot of research on this. It's kind of like my side hobby to know about the emotions. To learn about emotions, to how to talk to people and what makes someone attractive and not. Like I've been watching videos on YouTube and reading papers and stuff. So there's one thing that I want to point out is that the females, they want emotional stability in a man. And normally what the mistake the guy do know most of the time is that they think that once they open up to a woman, to a girl, she's gonna like her even more. But that's the opposite case in reality. If you want to show yourself that you are let's say an alpha, then you have to be mysterious. You have to be a challenge for the lady to get you, and you have to.
That's so fucking true.
Yeah, and you have to be confident. Like the most important thing is to be confident about yourself. So I mean, we can talk a lot about these things.
Oh my god.
But these are some of the things I learned from my experience, from books, from
By
internet.
the way, you are living them right now.
Yeah, I live them. I learned from every single experience. I learned from every single guy, girl, whoever I meet. I just, like, for example, I'm living in Germany and I don't know German language. But if I have a friend and she's German or he's German, I would ask them, hey, just teach me the language. So it's up to you how you make the best of the resources that you have. You can spend a lot of time with your friends and you cannot learn one single word. Yeah. So it's up to you how you develop.
That is fucking amazing. Like I'm just wondering right now, like, fuck. Like, would you like to know that when you were 15 years old?
Of course.
For example, that thing, that's a fucking key to relationships.
Being confident?
No. It's just like what you just said about women.
They like emotional stability.
Breathe. No problem. Don't worry. No problem. That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, women like to have emotional stability. That's like the fucking key. Like, if you can just summarize like men and women, it's like that's the point.
Yeah. And that's not my personal experience. That's by someone who has done
exactly
PhD in psychology.
Yeah.
And
that's totally true. Because it, like, just imagine, like, women von German. German. Okay, now my German is coming.
X-Men.
Yeah. No. Women, they are taking from nature being more, or they share more emotions.
Yeah.
Than men.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they are more emotional, because we are both emotional, but they express them more often, more in different ways. And we tend to be more like, even though you feel it, it's like,
let's keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know one more thing?
Yeah.
That women, they mature way earlier than men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the age for the men when a fully grown adult is mature is 43.
An evolutionary thing, if you ask me. The reason the reason why they grow up before men is because they need to be aware about this immaturity about people in general. Because like, you know, like this survival thing about humans normally rest on women. Do you think about it?
How come? How so?
For example, you said women in Pakistan, they take care of the family.
Yes.
If they don't do it since they are really young, we would be dead already.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I don't mean maternity. I mean being they grew up, or they grew up before us, men. If they don't do it before us, we would be like doing stupid stuff both.
Yeah. Okay, like now we are like getting into a different topic about like the roles of father and a mother.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing.
But yeah, I think I can put it in I can put it in another way that woman tends to show. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm not against feminism. Just to set it out, but woman tends to show more compassion, and that is a good thing. Like, I'm talking about majority of the cases. Like when you're emotional as a kid and you want to cry it out, do you prefer going to your dad or to your mom? Mostly your mom.
Your dad will be like,
mommy, they said, and like normally in our case, it's like, you know, you're like friends with your mom. And if there's any problem, if there's anything, you either go to your mom, or if you have an elder sister, you talk to her. Yeah. But you would never, not never, but in most of the cases, you talk to your sister or your mom. Like, but there are really few cases when you are gonna actually go to your elder brother, or you're gonna go to your uncle or your dad. Or your dad. What's gonna happen. Yeah, if you have done something bad, if your father got to know about it, you know about.
But you know what? Like, actually, I think this is a really good topic to finish the conversation, or the episode, because to wrap up, because this is one of the major things that I discovered that we are missing as humanity, as humans. Like, we are lacking of healthy males and healthy females. And I'm not talking about feminists or the patriarchism and all this bullshit that is going on around. Like, I'm not against it, but I'm not for it. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I actually am against extremism. That's what I don't like.
Yes.
Extremism is always bad. Like, it's like you need to be somewhere. Like, maybe you don't like it, but you are not like, I don't know, pounding them or whatever. So what I like about this topic is being, for example, every time you needed to talk to a man and you knew already they are gonna give me their no bullshit opinion because you know what's gonna happen, right?
Yes,
like your oldest brother or your dad or your uncle, you know what is gonna happen.
He's not gonna show compassion, but he's gonna address to you the real world takes it and the solution for it. Yeah.
And I'm not saying all women, but a lot. I'm not saying most of them, but a lot. They tend to give you compassion. And as a child, of course you want compassion because you want that somebody takes care of you.
Yeah.
That's normal. But if you want to grow up, if you want to man up, you need to go to the people that are gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
There are some women that tell you this, but that's not the rule.
That's why I said that there's a role for every person in your life. That's why you need to have a balance in your life.
That's why we have all men and stuff, men and women. Yeah, it's normal.
Like, I mean, you have seen this. You have actually experienced it. That you might have some friends, for some reason they've been brought up by their mothers, let's say by their fathers only, for the dads, and you might have noticed that there's a huge difference in their personality and characters because they were missing that fatherly discipline or that motherly compassion. So you need to have a balance of both of them. And if you see someone in your friend, like if you are young and if you have a friend like this, I would suggest that, if your parents are alive, you should and if he's your friend, just ask him or her to your place, just to make him feel like, he's not
I think
alone.
the people that have the worst is orphans.
Yeah.
Orphans, people without parents.
Yeah.
Like, even if you grew up with one of your parents, somehow it affects you. It's just like, it's impossible that it doesn't affect you. It's just somehow, because you don't have the balance of a healthy personality. Healthy personality is built with masculine and feminine energy, and we all have it. But you need to learn it from your father, and from your mother. Even if they are wrong, because we are not perfect. That's okay. But like getting it from just one person is just like something is missing here.
It's like you're just looking at one side of the coin.
Yes.
You need to see both sides of the coin to actually feel what you're holding.
Yeah.
To know the worth of the coin.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions just to wrap up this episode. What are you grateful for?
Most grateful or like grateful?
Whatever, like whatever comes to you, like top 2-3 things.
I would say everything, but I'm actually grateful for everything. It may sound really superficial, but I actually am. And but if I want to highlight like few basic things, I'm grateful for the upbringing that I had from all my my family, and I'm grateful for the way I approach things from my mindset, and I'm really, really grateful to the people who are in my life, who came. Like, I'm not just talking about the good people. I'm also talking about the bad people. Because they molded me, they shaped me in the way as to who I am. And I like the way who I am as a person. So I'm actually grateful to the people as well. So these are the top 3 things.
One other question is, let's say if you a doctor tells you you're gonna die in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a terminal illness. I don't know if it's cancer or whatever. You're just gonna die. You're like,
Yeah.
you cannot go home
All right.
because you cannot buy the ticket now and fly tomorrow because there is no availability.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the time zone difference, whatever, right? So you cannot go home, but you are far from home and you just want to be with your loved ones and enjoy your last moments. But let's say you just have few moments to wrap up your stuff and leave a message to your loved ones, whoever he or she or they are. What would you say to them?
All right. So I'm probably gonna leave a message to a few of my friends and to my parents, of course, to my brothers.
What kind
And
of message?
every message is gonna be different. Like
What kind of
the thing
message?
is-
For example, for your friends, for your parents?
It depends upon person to person. I don't want to talk about friends because then every friend is different, and I
No,
need to
but in general. I mean, for example, for your parents or for what do you leave behind? You're gonna die, like just like that.
All right.
This one is
So
Like your thoughts.
I mean, it's gonna be really personal ones.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So
That's the question.
all right, then I'll start off with my father. I'm gonna tell him that like thanks for all the sacrifices that he made for me, like to put me in the position that I'm in right now, like as he actually did, and he did everything in his power to raise me as a man, and I'm just happy that I am that person now, like because he tried his best, even though with all the resources he tried to be as productive and give us all the best things that he could, like best education, giving us all the taking us to places, teaching us about the cultures, the normals, the good and the bad. This thing to my mom, it's gonna be mostly like she's everything to me, and I'm gonna be writing.
What would you tell her?
Just not to cry. I mean, I know she's gonna cry, but I will like really tell her to not to cry. And I actually don't know what should I write. Like she already have 3 other siblings, children.
Don't worry, you still have some children.
You still have 3 children. I'm the last one anyway. Nobody
okay.
gives a shit.
No,
I'm
you
actually.
are her baby. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm her like favorite child.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
confessing
normal.
it.
It's normal.
Yeah. So no.
The youngest is always the
Yeah. So I mean, no, I'm actually gonna say that like she's the best person. She's the love of my life, and yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't say much because the thing is, it may sound really emotional right now, but I'm not emotional.
You don't need to justify. Just
I'm not emotional, but just out of logical reasoning, if I write more words, and if you're a mom, think of it this way: the more things that you write, the more she's gonna think about it once you're dead.
That's true.
So instead of explaining my situation and everything, I'm just gonna say, right, just be happy, mom. Don't miss me, and see you soon in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Just not anymore.
Exactly.
Because if I write
those
a big
are the words actually that I'm looking for, because it's like those are your truths. Like it's like these are the words for your mom. Like, don't miss me. I'm gonna be okay. I love you. See you there.
Yeah, that's it. But if I write a long fucking paragraph, she's gonna exaggerate every single thing. She's gonna write, "Oh, my son is taking time of his life to blah blah blah."
No. I'm talking about like one sentence. Like,
that's
your dad,
it.
Like, I'm grateful.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the best life. Thanks for taking care of me. And yeah, see you soon.
Yeah.
Let's keep it chilled. Keep it. No,
Who else? Or
and of course, my brothers, my eldest brother. Like, thanks for being an example to me, I guess.
and for yourself.
Why would I write anything for myself?
Yeah. Why not?
Don't be a don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are gonna be my words. Don't be a pussy. Just do whatever you want to do. And I have a sister and a brother, but I don't know. What should I write?
No,
about
that's fucking amazing. Don't be a pussy and just do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Because just this is one thing that you are gonna take with you today.
Yeah.
Don't be a pussy. And do whatever you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
From today.
Nice.
Like, you already did it. you're gonna do it from now.
Yeah.
So that's why like these questions are like, as you said, like before really way before, like they are a little bit philosophical, but it's like they are really deep. They are really inside of you. Like they are driving you. So it's like, come on, man, like step up.
Yeah.
For me was I think this is the in Spanish I already explained it, but in English not so far, not really. But it was like for me so important. I discovered like maybe a couple of months ago. It was like never settle down. Like from these words were like bam, banging my soul. Never settle down. Never stop. Because it's like, for me, it's so important to never be the very same person as I used to be yesterday. 1 month or 1 week or 1 month or 1 year before. Because we are meant here to grow.
Yeah.
So if you lose your time, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you know, like.
What about your other relatives? I mean, your family.
No, I didn't think about it. I
didn't think about it either. You don't have to think it.
I didn't think about my family. I think about my truths. Like if I would be, my message was for everybody. Like for my family, relatives, for my closest family, whatever. For me, it's like find yourself first. Find yourself. Because finding yourself is the most difficult and not the easiest task to do.
Yeah,
that's so fucking hard. Find yourself, and that means self-awareness. Self-awareness is so fucking valuable. From that point on, you can start building up whatever you want to do. Then from that point, you can learn whatever you want to do. Be yourself. Like be yourself. Like you only have this one life to be yourself. It's just one. It's like this is a little bit like cheesy and stuff. Yeah, but this one life is like be your fucking self. You just have this body, whatever. Like it doesn't matter if you're fucking fat, black, white, brown. It doesn't fucking matter. You have just this fucking costume, or how do you say it? Like this is the only chance you have.
Like facade.
Yeah, you have. This is the only fucking chance you have in this life. I don't know. I don't know if there is another one. Maybe, who knows? But this one, Rizwan, is the one you have right now.
Yeah.
So it's like you must fucking step up with this one you have.
Don't be
there
a
is
pussy.
Another one. Yeah, don't be a fucking pussy. That's another one. Be a fucking man. Step up.
Even if you're a woman, just be a man.
No, it's a woman. It's woman up.
Just,
yeah.
Just
woman
kidding,
up.
I'm just
I'm totally like I agree with that. It's like woman
it's
up.
rhetorical. I understand.
But it's totally true. It's like woman up.
Yeah,
woman up. Like you don't like something, woman up.
Yeah.
Whatever it means to you, woman up.
You know what this reminds me of? Sorry for being a bit racist. That those black mamas from the hoods.
Yeah.
You know, they're really women. They're like,
they're tough.
What you say to me? Yeah, woman up like them.
Let me tell you something about this thing, the racism thing. Media, and I don't know which groups are doing this, but this classism, racism, whatever thing is going on, dude, just get over it. We're just humans.
Yeah.
Like we look different, but from the inside we're the same. So we are just made of blood, organs, and stuff. So who cares? So that's why it's like, for example, it's like, oh, I'm brown, I'm white. Like, yeah, whatever. Dude. Like, what can you do for me? Like, what can you do? Like, you know, like, are you helping me or are you just like, I don't know, stopping me? Like, yeah, if you're stopping me, get the fuck out of here. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. Like, yeah. So, what do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I actually agree to this. And whenever I have these discussions with anyone, like if someone is like, "Hey, do you feel if you're a white dude, or if you're like this and that?" I just say this one thing, like, you know, just grab a knife and just slice your arm.
Yeah.
What's the color of your blood? And
But not here.
Yeah, I mean here, because once you were gonna see your blood, I would really want you to die because you're fucking racist. So just slice your arm and see what's the color of your blood. Like, it doesn't matter what skin color you have. Yeah. Like, you are gonna have the same color. Yeah. So stop being a fucking racist and just be true to yourself. Don't treat people based on how they look and how they speak, because at the end of the day, like, they're all humans. And I was reading this someplace that I actually watched a video about a guy. It was a motivational video, and he was really angry on people who were laughing at fat people in the gym. And they were like, if you're sick, you go to a doctor. So basically, these obese people, these fat people, they're doing the same thing. For them, it's a hospital. Like, it's not a gym. It's like their way out from them. Not everybody can go and have a jog at like -1 degrees. So you need to hit the gym. And if someone is doing something that is better for him, that is making him a better person, not just going to the gym. Let's say if someone sucks at speaking German. This dude. And if he tries to speak German and he sucks at it, which I do, just don't make fun of him. And if someone is losing weight, don't make fun of him. If someone is doing something, don't make fun of him.
Even if they make fun of you,
don't take it personal.
I think, exactly. Don't take it personal. Like, it's both ways. Like, there is this thing, like, don't, like, this religious thing is like, don't make to others what you don't want to.
What do you want? Don't. That's basically an code, Islamic code. And it goes something like, don't buy something for the other guy which you don't like it for yourself.
Something like this. Exactly. So that's one thing. Like, if you are gonna laugh, first look at yourself. Like, look at your character. If he or she is fat, come on, man. Like, your mom is too. So just shut up.
Your mom jokes are the best.
Shut up. Right. So the other one is just first look at yourself. It's like, maybe you were once like him or her. So like people spend so much time looking at others instead of looking at them. That's the thing. Like, once you start, because that's the scary thing. Almost anybody wants to look inside.
They just want to accept that who they are. That's the thing.
No, it's scary, because what you're going to find out, it's scary, because you don't know yourself most of the times. And it happened to me. I saw this a lot of times. I do it with coaching, and it's like, shit. Like, people you see like, what? Like, facing their demons. Have you heard that? Face your demons. This shit is just like,
I want to share a personal experience about this. I don't know. I read like wrapping it up. It's okay. So I had to give my IELTS exam. Like, it's just kind of a formality to apply for a master's program. So I was really nervous about my speaking test. I was. It was just like because of my nature.
So it was an English test.
It was an English test.
So people don't know. So because IELTS is like
international English language test. I forgot. What's
something? Whatever for students.
I forgot. Oh God, I don't know. English. So, anyways, I feel so dumb right now. I'm sorry everyone for not knowing the meaning. So so basically, there are like different portions in the test in which you have to ace it. Like, you need to at least have 6+ marks out of 9 bands, you call it. So there was a speaking test as well, and I was like, hey, like, all the other parts were really easy for me, like the writing, the reading, and the listening.
Because it's all about yourself, right?
You cannot see. But the thing was, like, when I was preparing for the speaking test, so I was being told by the guide I was following, or by the videos, from the videos that I was following, that just look into the mirror and see how you look.
How you react,
And I was like, that's not so bad. Like, how bad can it be?
Easy,
But then I took a small chair. I sat in front of a mirror, and I was like, the task was basically just talk to yourself for 2 minutes. It's like, how bad can it be? But then I looked into the mirror and I just started talking. And I was like, do I really make a face like this?
Yeah.
Do I really look like here and there and not into the eyes of the other guy? Am I really sitting like this? It's like, gosh, like if I'm like this all of my life, like I need to do something. So
this
yeah,
is, body language.
yeah. So that's when I had this realization that you know, even though you might feel that you are okay, but when you start to see yourself from a third person's perspective, then you actually see that true picture. So you know, there are times when you're doing something and someone is making a video of you. And you're at that particular time where like, yo, I'm that, you know, that cool dude. But once you see the video and you're like, gosh, I look like fucking shit. I need to lose few pounds. I have big ass. My hairstyle is really bad. I look brown. You know,
but everybody's looking at you like that, but you don't know.
So that's the funny thing. So just accept yourself and just keep on working on yourself. And eventually everything's going to work out.
That's it. It's like keep working on yourself. That's the whole key.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing that I would say.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks for having me on this podcast session. I really enjoyed it.
Let's have another one later.
Yeah, sure.
Just to see what happened to you.
Maybe next year.
Let's see.
Let's just see. It's
Thank you for coming, and hope you have fun.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks.